Let's do the Sunday Telegraph. And Labour are suddenly worried about the crisis in masculinity. I wonder if the left, openly despising men for decades, has contributed.
Oh, my goodness. Quelle surprise here, Nick. I mean, the Labour Party... Oh, let's do the... crisis in masculinity prompts Labour to consider men's health strategy. And this is Wes Streeting, who is the Shadow Health Minister. And he's saying that Labour is looking at introducing a men's health strategy to address the crisis in masculinity. In quelle surprise, as I was saying, the Labour Party have supported and enabled the progressive insurrection against men.
Nice. Insurrection.
It has been an insurrection against men, and they've supported and enabled it. It's not just the Labour Party, but the blob that they support has totally been behind this for decades. If you tell 50% of people born that their masculinity, the way that they are born and the way they genetically grow is bad, this is what you end up with. 20 years later, you end up with a load of men who have huge mental health issues because they have all this testosterone and masculinity that they know they're not allowed to use properly.
I know, and there's mixed messages because the other day it was, Labour trains up influencers to counter the toxic influence of Andrew Tate, which is kind of not really listening to young men because young men happen to like Tate, so you've got to deal with it properly. And then there's also talk of the solution being, they need men to talk about their physical mental health. Is that the way for men to talk, or is that the solution for men, Lewis?
Well, that's a good point. I think by Paul complaining about this, he's become a Weasley feminist and has been destroyed himself. And
right.
Maybe he needs some help.
He should be out killing animals instead and hunting.
I'm not even sure that's relevant. Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, but I don't know how it's relevant.
Well, ask him if it made sense. Did it make sense?
It made sense, yeah, because the argument, there's always this idea men have to just talk about their problems more and hence sort of, in a sense, become more like women. But that's not really a solution for men. Men need other solutions.
I'm not saying that, though.
No, you're not saying that. Good. The whole culture against
I am
men.
saying there has been a political and cultural drive towards damaging anything to do with masculinity. Yeah. And part of being masculine is part of being strong and aggressive, maybe taking the lead, maybe explaining things when people aren't doing them correctly. So whatever it might be. All these
talking about
things.
meat a lot.
Yeah, talking about meat a lot. Yeah, toe fungus.
Maybe if people had more meat, that they'd be more masculine. But the point is you're talking about like a replacement theory, that all of men's roles have been replaced by women.
There is it is tricky for many. I mean, they'll say we're complaining, but there's a sort of HR culture. There's Me Too, which was valid to an extent, but also overreached. There's sort of feminism. There's political correctness itself is sort of not really something men can really work within. What do we do as men? I don't think this is the answer, but it's interesting that Labour are finally talking like this. Maybe Labour will get in and suddenly do all these sort of anti-woke things. I don't really believe it, but let's see.